What up, y'all? Just wanted to do a short video real quick. Nothing too fancy. Just my thoughts, and I really didn't get to explain much because we were on stream. We were in the middle of a mock draft. Um, but the channel has reached over 1,000 subscribers and even more after that. I think we're at like 1,014 right now. And this would not be possible without a lot of things, including you guys, the supporters, and the team that works with me constantly to, improve this channel. And I'll have a video probably out this week or next, just recapping the bigger moments of us hitting different milestones, different shows starting as well. But I wanted to say thank you guys. Wouldn't be possible without y'all. And to be fair, I mean, this channel has taken a long journey thus far. If you think about it, I mean, I started this channel, in April of 2020 when basically COVID hit and there was not much to talk about other than the NFL draft. I had my first podcast. Then I had Alan Hahn on. Did a couple of interviews with content creators at the time, and it's weird because you look back on it and you just think dude, that's what you started out with. It was really low budget kind of thing too, because I would record through Audacity, which is an audio platform, if you will. And, I'd have Alan Hahn or Justin Pennick or, let's see, who else? Cop Pizzle, for example. I'd have them on my phone on Instagram chat. And that's how, I didn't know any of that other stuff. So that's how I did my interviews. And, when Bobby and Vincent Rapasardi of Big Blue Unbiased, who I think now it's Gridiron Media, then I did it through Zoom. And then and I wouldn't show my face on camera a ton. I think I showed my face on camera for the interviews I did on Zoom. Stacy Dillard, the former Giants defensive tackle that was in the 90s, we got to interview him. Curtis Grant, former Giants linebacker, got to interview him while he was on a truck job, so that was fun as well. I started getting into the habit of showing my face a little bit more, and also shout outs to somebody that I really don't talk too much anymore, but I hope he's doing well. Jordan Levine, when I was with a separate blog called All New York Sports, me and him, always had this idea of, if he was available more, he'd pop on more. But we were doing a lot of fun content there, and wasn't getting too many views. But hey, listen, we just did it because we know that some shit would pay off down the line. But I remember our first live stream. I mean, the draft, it was through Zoom. It was, if you go back, I encourage all of you just to look back at them and think they've gotten so far with all this shit that they're doing now, and just think, it's 1K plus, room for improvement. There's always room for improvement here. We're always looking to improve. I mean, thank you, Hey Is, for this backdrop, and behind it is a green screen. I don't use it a ton. I haven't used it a ton. And I've also bought these lights and all these different things, making upgrades. But, our first few live streams were done via Zoom. The Giants-Steelers game, that was awful in terms of, you look back on it once again, it's not that great in quality. Let's see what else. I interviewed Dale Scott, I think, in 2020 during the baseball season. And, he's an umpire, former Major League umpire. And, he was great on the interview and all that sort of stuff. And then, obviously, I started hopping on different content creators' channels, I would say, in the fall/winter of 2020. And I started hopping on Cop's channel just to do, just to talk with him a little bit, the victory streams when the Giants won, how many games that year. And then from there, I met Deanna Tana. And then, I met Tana on one of the streams, and then I found his channel, and then I found guys like, The Hub and Nate Talks Football and all these different guys that I know well now. And then, I'd go on the Hub stream kind of like I would do Pizzle stream, and that's where I found Rob from Nerding Out Sports. And me and him and a couple other guys, including Nate Talks Football and all these, different guys that I work with, as you guys know, we got to meet down in Florida earlier this year. And it was really fun. It was really fun. And, the thing is, actually, no, I'll wait to get into that. And then, basically discovered StreamYard. And then I think it was January of 2021 when we hit 100 subscribers. And that was thanks to Pizzle basically ranting on other Giants content creators and giving me a shout out. So as much as, he went on a rant, thank you, Pizzle. And then February is kind of weird. And many of you guys may not know the backstory for the Boys in the Big Apple podcast, but me, my friend Sean, and Luca, we're going to go on one day. We're going to talk about these new stupid rules they came out with. Basically the pitcher in and out, all these different bullshit rules they implemented. And we did a Zoom video, right? We did a Zoom video during the day because we were home from school. It was still like virtual shit and whatever. And, from there, the audio was not synced, so we were fucked. And then I'm like, you know what, why don't we just do a live stream? So I don't think they were a fan of it, but we did a live stream, and then we just went off topic. We had different guys on, different guys that I knew from blogs that I was head of and started doing, and we just went in like NFL offseason, all these different things. And then we got the idea probably about a day and a half later, we need to do this every single week. And that's what we did. And then obviously free agency hit. And the most important part I didn't even touch on is the fact that we added the Yankees content in 2020, July to be specific. That's when baseball started. So, my mentality was, during football season, Giants, during baseball season, Yankees. That way we're always keeping with the content. We're not really dry. So you go on that for a few months and, introduced to a ton of people. FanFest was awesome. The first FanFest where a lot of Giants content creators got together, the tailgate, all these different things. And, it was great because, somebody over the computer. You don't know how they're going to be in real life, whether it's a fan, whether it's, a content creator. And pretty much all the people that I, worked with or, talk to, they were the same in real life. And that's something, good to know, because a lot of people can be fake online. I've learned that in the last few months. But got to September, got to October, did some streams, and all that sort of stuff, kept continuing at the show. And, I would say in October, November, Sean's work schedule started getting a little bumpy. Because obviously, paying for college and, doing a job at a supermarket isn't easy. It's not really easy to balance. So we brought this guy on. Actually, no, let me go into the background story. And I don't give a fuck if he curses at me in the video, because apparently this guy's nuts. So Luca was contacting somebody. And he contacted this dude named Evan Wetzel from a podcast, a Yankee podcast, and apparently he knew like all sorts of subjects. He talked about the Knicks, he talked about he talked about the Giants. So all right, okay, hopefully we get him on. So the day we bring him on, he blocked all of us for some reason, which was completely absurd. And then he built in an excuse, says, "Oh, my phone's not working. Contact this guy." So this guy was Donald, and we had him on once, talked a little Knicks. Then we had him on again towards the end of the year for the end of the year show. And it was really fun. Luca kept doing accents, and Donald was just like absurded by it, but he had a fun time. And then, as his work schedule got harder, Sean started fading out a little bit. Once again, I talk to him pretty much every day, but obviously there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I'm not going to defer the audience, because it's his privacy, it's his business. That's not my story to tell. So February-ish, March-ish, he's faded out a little bit. We also get to introduce Brian during that period because I was with him in school. He introduced me to the Terrier TV program. And this is 2022, February, by the way. And, Brian becomes a staple, comes on for our Super Bowl recap show and all this sort of stuff. And Donald basically cements himself as a co-host. Okay, we got a good core going. So I also have to give shout outs, and probably I would say late 2020, 21, early 2020, 22. I joined this crew of Giants content creators, and if you haven't already, subbed to all of them, called the Big Blue Crew. And they're always friendly, and I just kind of adapted to them a little bit because they were a different bunch. They did their own thing, and they're just a whole community where guys, just talk football and all this sort of stuff. It felt a little different than the average content creator. So shouts to Lou, Big Pat, Classified 3F, with Joel, Jay-Lay, all those different guys. I mean, the Big Blue Crew, unite, strong, all that sort of stuff. So I joined them. I'm in a group chat with them, so I've been associating with them probably for about a year and a half now. Yeah, I would say that makes sense along those lines. Then we did the draft, all that sort of stuff. So then we started the Dead Red podcast. We started talking about it in February. And me and Sox were, trying to, come up with an idea of what to do on the podcast and the names and stuff like that. I originally met Sox on Cop's channel for the Seahawks-Giants victory stream in 2020. And I had no idea who this guy is. We did a collab in 2021. I think it was June. But, it was so low quality, at least, I would say lower quality than what you guys are used to now. And we really couldn't coordinate schedules. So then when baseball came back, we decided, okay, let's do a show. And, obviously we've hit it off from there. And, as the months went on, as we did Boys in the Big Apple, Giants, Yankees content, we've been growing since. And then, in September 2022, about a year, I would say about a year after. No, wait, I'm totally screwed up with my timeline right now. So let me go back. All this different stuff. Trust me, it's a lot of timeline stuff. So if you want to click off. But a lot of backstory here if you want to learn about the history. August 2021, we brought Pete Simonetti on because, we were saying, okay, let's have this guy on for Yankee content, whatever. And the day before we had him on, he had his famous Field the Dreams game rant, which is probably one of the best rants I've heard all the time. So, that happens. And then about month and a half later, he texts me, says, would you be interested in doing a podcast with your brother on our channel as we're trying to really make it into NYY News TV with all these different things and whatnot. So, I agreed. Luca signed up, and obviously we've been a part of it since. Brad, Jacob, all those guys from, the NYY News TV crew. In terms of the audience, they come over here, they support us, which is very fun, and we like their support, of course. Obviously, a couple of different things on a mutual standpoint slowed Twinville down for the time being, and we'll be on game season. But even then, also in June of 2022, what was I going to say? We got the NYY News TV Day, which was even, which is big as FanFest too, because I met Donald the day before. I met a lot of different guys, Hirsch, Anthony Medina, Pete for the first time. We went out after for dinner, and, it just, the community started growing a little bit more, and then more subs coming over to this channel. And then I think pretty much from there, just started growing on this channel a lot more, 500, 600, 700, 800. Then, we went on a trip to Miami in January, me, Donald, Sean, and Luca. And obviously there's that live stream. If you guys haven't already, it's actually pretty funny. And in that process, and I'm going out of order again. So once again, my apologies. We added Angry John as a member in July of 2022 for the trade deadline. And you could see John was a little nervous. Because I don't know if he did stuff directly on camera before. And then, boom, in September we had him on again, and we're like, you know what, this is fun. And I got to know John more. We all did. And now he's the fourth member of the Boys in Big Apple podcast, and he's known for his rants on Zach Wilson, all that sort of shit. But, in February 1st, I think was the date we reached 900. Thank you to Derek from MOI Recaps, the crew we have, and Pete. And then, boom. The off-season stream with Tana and Diggy and Donald as well. We reached over 1K. So, bit of jumbled history there. Maybe it's a longer video than I anticipated, but I appreciate you guys for tuning in. 1K subs. See you next time. Peace.